Early on a clear and cool spring morning, just south of the equator in the Ecuadorian Andes, outside the colonial city of Cuenca, Dr. Manuel Avila Zias begins his journey into the local mountains' remote villages, as he has for years. Today, Dr. Avila Zias and his road-weary four-wheel drive truck travel 2 hours, first on two-lane country roads through villages and ranching land, then over primitive dirt and rock roads, climbing ever higher, finally reaching an elevation of over 10,000 feet, and the home of Marta Brito, several miles outside the village of Sigsig. This is a return visit for Dr. Avila Zias, as he last visited Marta 1 year ago when she was evaluated as a potential patient. Marta, age 44, lives alone in an adobe and wood home along a mountain ridgetop and is looking forward to Dr. Avila Zias' visit as it signals the time has come for her to receive a new hip and a new lease on life in this rugged yet beautiful countryside. He is here to bring Marta back to Cuenca, where she will receive orthopedic care from the surgical team of Operation Walk during their annual mission to Cuenca, Ecuador, providing much-needed surgery to a population with challenging orthopedic conditions. Marta will be one of the fortunate 40 patients selected for free surgery over the next 6 days. In addition to the surgeries performed, doctors and staff will see over 100 patients in clinic, filling next year's surgical schedule, and also examining a number of follow-up patients from last year's surgical mission. One thing these remote mountains do not lack are people, primarily women, with hip dysplasia, or DDH, who have no ready access to medical services to correct their problems, nor education to aid in prevention of these avoidable disabilities. Because of long-held cultural beliefs, infant girls are often carried in a swaddled configuration that precludes normal hip joint development, almost guaranteeing a lifetime of mobility and social issues. Without early detection or medical intervention, their fate has been written. Sadly, many are never aware there are solutions both for infants and for adults living with this crippling malformation.
1 year ago, she can walk, and she go to Cuenca, and her brother says, I know a doctor. He knows me, and he come to my home and bring X-rays, and I check X-rays, and I tell to her, you need a surgery, a hip surgery. And 1 year ago, received a surgery, the left hip. Yeah, and she helped a lot because she started, the pain is not gone, and now she is walk very well, and now she is come back to receive another surgery in the other side.
While Dr. Avila Zias and Marta make the long drive to Cuenca from her remote home, the team of volunteers are busy preparing for their 7-day mission. The team arrived early yesterday and soon was introduced to key hospital staff and given an overview of this week's itinerary. Many on this team of 45 are renewing friendships made during previous missions, both here and in Guatemala. This chapter is truly international in scope, as members hail from London, Ontario, Calgary, Alberta, Phoenix, Arizona, Australia, and Argentina. Work begins in earnest with the arrival of the medical supply truck from Quito after an overnight 10-hour drive. All hands are on deck for the monumental task of offloading and sorting surgical instruments, implants, and surgical supplies. Not unlike a military operation, a few seasoned leaders provide guidance, and soon order from seeming chaos is established, and all is ready for the next day when the mission's clinic will see patients. Clinic day begins, as every day will, with a 7 a.m. team meeting to discuss the upcoming schedule, what is expected, and how to improve efficiency. All departments report, and once surgeries begin tomorrow, patient histories will also be reviewed each morning. Clinic Day brings its own brand of high energy as patients and their families are shepherded through the process of taking medical histories and undergoing physical exams. Surgical prep information is included if they are selected for surgery this year or next, and x-rays are taken for their charts. Patients are seen by one of 6 orthopedic surgeons and a team of nurses and anesthesiologists. While families wait anxiously to hear if their loved one has been selected for surgery, the patients are given detailed physical exams with the aid of mission staff interpreters, as surgeons assess their options with available implants and supplies.
We have a full complement of excellent people, and it's not only surgeons, but we're so dependent on nurses, therapists. In fact, I often think the most important people are the people who clean the instruments, because they're time-limiting steps. So it's very, very important, and they work very hard. Both Drs. Copper and Howard are extremely talented surgeons. Patients couldn't get any better care, and so I'm very excited about that. And of course, Dr. Powell does surgery more in the pediatric group, trying to prevent the need for a total hip replacement. But it's really an outstanding surgical team.
After her long trip to Cuenca the day before, Marta is meeting Dr. Bertrand Copper of Arizona, who will perform her surgery tomorrow. Dr. Copper, a veteran of many such missions, has seen this orthopedic condition, known as DDH, too many times. However, he also knows the medical team Marta has on her side is experienced in this particular orthopedic correction and believes her surgical outcome will be life-changing.
Our goal in our preoperative planning is to try to anticipate the needs of each individual patient, what they might throw at us, so to speak, when we're in the operating room, and especially when we come to a third world developing country like Ecuador, that we have all the right prosthetic implants available to us. Obviously, we cannot find out in the middle of an operation that we don't have the right prosthesis available. So the preoperative planning and understanding everything is a critical part of what we do, and that can hopefully lead to the outcome that she's looking for as far as getting her quality of life back.
In the midst of the ongoing frenetic activity of preparing operating rooms for surgery tomorrow and moving patients through the intake process, one individual is everywhere, the hub of multiple hit-and-run hallway meetings. Dr. Avila Zias serves as a liaison between Operation Walk and the hospital and patients and their families to keep the momentum moving in a positive direction. Dr. Avila Zias has been the driving force for decades to bring missions such as this one to his beloved country and to reach out to those most in need.
To me, Dr. Manuel Avila is a saint. He's really one of the most fantastic men I've ever met. He's a family doctor who has devoted his life to caring for the poor. I know he can make a lot more money living in a city, having a regular family practice, but he has chosen to look after people who live in the hills under very, very primitive conditions.
Surgery day has finally arrived for Marta as she is wheeled into OR3 at St. Inez Hospital. Her case has already been reviewed early this morning during the team meeting, and now months of detailed preparation will pay off. Dr. Copper, with assistance from Dr. Jamie Howard, Dr. John Gordon, and the seasoned orthopedic surgical team are ready to give Marta the ability to enjoy life in an environment otherwise filled with daily physical challenges in the best of circumstances. The surgery for correcting DDH is technically demanding for the surgeons, and in conditions where the operating room temperature is warm and humid, even more so. Care is taken to reconstruct Marta's pelvic anatomy to give her a correct hip joint where the ball and socket for each leg match lengths and position, which will give her a normal gait. Surgery lasts almost 2 hours, and this scene is repeated 40 times this week by the other dedicated team members on patients young and old. Working from early morning until end of the day, each team member carries on their integral duties for the benefit of those with less, from cleaning instruments and preparing them for surgery, to post-operative care, to physical therapy, and the days after the surgery. The team is in perpetual motion. While Marta is in surgery, there is something reaffirming occurring in the clinic during a special session. It is a reunion of sorts, limited to a unique group, a club Marta will be part of during next year's visit. Patients from last year have made the trip back today to St. Inez to visit with their surgeons and have their outcomes assessed. However, it is more. It is a reconnection for patients and the team, a chance to recognize familiar faces, to see indeed the life-changing aspect of this work, and for patients and families to say thank you one more time.
I think it's been a very successful week. We've been coming here since 2006. Every year has got a little better. I think the key is that we get experience and we get used to working with each other, and I think things just go smoother.
As the colonial city awakens for a new day, the team is already in action, and the results are starting to tally as the early surgical patients are entering the post-operative care phase. Physical therapy is now busy with patients being asked to try their new hips and knees. The caring attitude and confidence the team exudes is being mirrored by the patients as they discover their newfound mobility and the improved life it promises. Marta is now 1 day post-surgical and feeling good. She receives her visit from Dr. Copper and the surgical team during daily rounds. It is clear to all that not only is Marta doing well, so is the team. Spirits are high as the payoff for all their hard work is evident up and down the hallways of St. Inez' 3rd floor. The exhaustion team members were feeling early in the week from challenging travel and long days has been replaced with the satisfaction of another successful mission. These orthopedic missions and the seeming miracles that result are only possible because of the commitment and financial support received from individuals and companies. This generous giving is the key that unlocks the door. And as Dr. Bourne notes, it is a constant challenge to secure the financial resources required to perform this good work.
Fundraising is always a huge issue. In fact, we spend more time on fundraising than we're able to do treating patients. Operation Walk currently does 2 medical missions a year, one to Guatemala, of which Dr. Copper is a key member, and of course this mission to Ecuador. The 2 missions cost about $200,000 a year, and that's just the donation for supplies, helping cover minimal hospital expenses, but medications. There are a lot of things. We are given a great deal of things on top of that, which I know would probably double or treble the amount. First of all, we have every team member here has donated at least a week of their holiday time to come here, and they get paid nothing. Secondly, we've been very blessed. One of the major orthopedic equipment companies, Smith & Nephew, has donated all the implants. And it's probably in the neighborhood of $500,000 a year of implants that we use. So we're extremely grateful to all these individuals. But fundraising is very, very important. Sometimes I think my friends hate to see me because we keep asking the same people over and over again. But they've been absolutely fabulous. And it's just as important. Like, we feel we're giving some of our talents, but people are giving financially, and that is equally important. And I think for every one of the 35 patients that we treated here, every donor should feel that they have a part in that success.
As team members reach the end of their week in Cuenca, goodbyes and promises of future reunions are made. New friendships formed by this shared experience will soon become lifelong, as many will come back to this colonial city in the Andes as long as there is a need and as long as Dr. Avila Zíaz is traveling the remote villages spreading hope and education. For Marta, she will soon return to her home thanks to the team of Operation Walk and its supporters. She will now live a life free of stigma and pain, free to live with the soaring spirits of the Andes.